Hey everyone, and welcome to my February book haul. So February's a reasonably small book haul in terms of number of books. I've only got 3 books to show you and several comics, so let's just get into it and stop dawdling. First one I've got to show you is The Gilded Ones by Namina Fauna. Now this one, first of all, can we appreciate the sprayed edges? I'm so glad I got the sprayed edge version because it is absolutely stunning, and this has actually been on pre-order since last year, and I'm not gonna lie, I've forgotten what it's about, so I'm just gonna read you the back of it. It says, "Are we girls or are we demons? Are we going to die or are we going to survive? In this bold and immersive fantasy, a young heroine fights to save a world that would dare tame her and discovers that she is her own fiercest weapon." And the only real things I remember about this is that some of them have gold blood, but she doesn't have gold blood, or she does have gold blood and it's different from the rest of her village, and that means she gets taken off to fight in an army, if I remember rightly. It's been a very, very long time since I read the synopsis for this. I have had it on pre-order for a very, 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 very long time, but what I will say is I am very excited to read it. And then the final book I've got to mention is a book I completely and utterly forgot that I'd actually pre-ordered, and I mean I completely and utterly forgot until it arrived at my front door, and then I was like, oh yeah, that was a pre-order, and that was This Golden Flame by Emily Victoria. Now this one is a fantasy where the main character is trying to find her brother and also trying to avoid being killed by the evil government type thing because she's accidentally awakened an automaton, and that's all I really know. I've got a vague recollection that there may be some sort of asexual rep in here, I think. I don't know. I think that's why I originally got interested in this, because the Portal Bookshop, who I will leave a link to down below, was doing a thread of LGBTQIA+ reads, and I think this one was on here, and that's how I got interested in it, and that's how I ended up pre-ordering it from their shop. But do not quote me on this because I cannot for the life of me remember, but I do think there's some kind of rep in here, I think. I'm like 90% sure on that front, but don't quote me on it because I can't remember. Either way though, I am still very excited to read this, even if I couldn't remember that I'd actually pre-ordered it, because it does sound really good. I do want to read more blends of sci-fi fantasy, and this one just sounds really good fun because I really like the idea of robots and automatons and that kind of idea. So don't know when I'm going to get to it, but I am excited to read it either way. And then the final book I've got to mention is Sanctuary by Karen Licks. Now this one was actually described in one of the reviews as X-Men meets Prison Break, and that's all I needed to know. Quite frankly, I was going to buy this one anyway because it is part of the Avengers Reading Challenge. It is the March group book, and I am determined to read all of the group books I can possibly get my hands on, so this was definitely one of them. It has also admittedly been on my wish list for a very long time. This was just the excuse I needed to buy it. Now this one, like I said, has been described as X-Men meets Prison Break, in the sense that the main character is stuck in a prison like place in space, I think, and everybody's got powers and she needs to try and get out, but she can't get out because I think they're all under lockdown or something like this. I literally just saw X-Men meets Prison Break, and while I'm not a fan of Prison Break, I am definitely a fan of the X-Men, so I was all over this. And then naturally there are also comics on this list, because does a month go by where I don't buy several comics, especially when they all go on sale, so here are the comics. First one is All New, All Different Avengers by Mark Waid. Now this one is actually a precursor to the Champions, where young heroes like Kamala Khan are teaming up with the Avengers, and this actually does sort of work as a sort of prequel as to how the Champions came about. I am working my way through Nova quite quickly now, which means I can get to the Champions soon, and I'm just very, very excited for that, and I just wanted all the backstory because I absolutely adore the Champions, so I cannot wait to read this one and just find out how they all got formed. And next got Black Panther Doom War by Reginald Hudlin, and now this one is the second one in a Shuri series where Shuri is the Black Panther and she's fighting Doctor Doom. That's all I needed to know, quite frankly. I have got the first one in this series. I'm very excited to read it. I'm now very excited now that I've got the second one as well, and I'm just very excited to read it because I just love the idea of Shuri as the Black Panther, and then Shuri as the Black Panther fighting Doom, because Doom's just melodramatic on every level and it just really makes me laugh, so I can't wait to see how this one goes. Then I also managed to get Wakanda Forever by Nnedi Okorafor and Reginald Hudlin. Now this one is all about the Dora actually leaving Wakanda and going out into the world and sort of having badass missions out there, and quite frankly I wanted to see more of the world of Wakanda. I wanted more of the Dora, and this just sounded like a perfect one to go for, especially while it was on sale. And then I got several Nova comics. The first two being volumes 5 and 6 in the Nova series by Jerry Duggan that I've been reading. These being Axis and Homecoming, and it's just basically the final two in the Nova series that I've been reading, focusing on Sam Alexander, who is a teenage boy who ends up basically finding a Nova helmet of his dad's and becoming Nova, essentially. It did take me a very long time to sort of get into it. It was a bit sort of stop and start at the beginning, and I didn't really like Sam as a character, but he is really growing on me throughout the series, and now I'm very excited to finish it so I can hopefully go on to Champions, which is the thing I'm really looking forward to, if you couldn't tell. I then also got the next two in a series after this series, which is Nova the Human Rocket, and that is volume 1 and 2, Burnout and Afterburn by Sean Ryan. Now this one is actually set, like I said, after the Nova series that I am currently reading, where Sam is reunited with his dad Jesse, and both of them are then Novas together, and I'm just very excited for that because I really have enjoyed the ending of this series, and I'm very excited to see where it goes next because there's such an interesting concept of Sam and his dad being Novas together, and I cannot wait to explore that. And then the final one I managed to get, and the final comic I am going to mention, and the final book I'm going to mention, is Nova Resurrection by Jeff Loveness and Raymond Perez, and now this one is where Richard Rider, the original Nova, is finally back. So now it's Sam and also Richard Rider as the Novas. I don't know what happens to Jesse, but I'm very excited to find out, and just very excited to find out more about Richard because I have seen him in a couple of comics, but I haven't really gotten to know him that well. So I'm just very excited to just see how all of this turns out, how he reacts to Sam being a Nova, and just generally finding more out about the Nova Corps. And that is actually the end of this book haul, so I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do give me a thumbs up. Comment down below with what you thought of any of the books I've just mentioned, if you've read them or if they're on your wish list or anything like that. I'll also leave a link down below to all of my social media for you to check it out, including to the Comic Book Sanctum, which is my website dedicated to Marvel Comics. If you want to see any more of my videos, please click subscribe here, and over here will be the link to my previous video. But until next time everyone, bye!